Hello, beautiful people. It's your boy, Sunny, back at it with another reaction. Hope everybody's doing great, having a great day, and happy. Alright, today we're going to be checking out Vivek Ramaswamy versus The Breakfast Club. I know I'm a little late, but I've been checking this guy out. I mean, he seems like a smart guy who knows what he's doing. I like his views, and I like what he's standing for. So, I'm digging him. So I thought let's check out this video that's been viral. So I got the whole debate. We're gonna check it out and see what we think, if who's being rude, who's not, and what Vivek has to say. So let's get it. And before I do, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Appreciate all your help, love, and support. Thank you. So let's get into it. Let me pull it up. Okay, let's watch it together. Hope you're ready. Let's go.
Yes.
I was about to say the third and second is you, but what do you think you need to do to close that gap?
I mean, most people in this country do not know who I am. So against that backdrop, the fact that I'm ahead of a vice president and a bunch of U.S. senators and a former U.S. ambassador and governors is honestly ahead of where I expect it to be right now. Our goal was to be in third by the end of the year. And then you have the Iowa caucus, and then you have the New Hampshire primary. And the fact that you go those early states in order makes it possible for an outsider like me to actually do this, because we spend a lot of time getting to know people in those states. And so it's going to be a steady process. The debates, I think, are pretty key. They start in August. I'm qualified for the debate stage already. I tend to like settings.
Okay. From the starting, it seems it's going fine. This guy definitely knows how to talk. He seems polite, knows what he's talking about. So, I mean, it's not going bad right now. Let's go.
We're debating, so hopefully that goes well, and we'll see where this takes us.
Does
Why should
anybody
people-
who's not a white male really stand a chance of being a Republican? No.
Absolutely.
What the?
Yeah.
Wait. Did he just... This is just so dumb. Why, if you're not a white, you should be in Republic? Are only white people Republicans? I don't think so. I know a lot of people of color that are Republicans. So, right off the bat, arrogant, stupid.
I think that there is
They
this.
don't seem like they're open to that kind of diversity.
I'll be honest with you. I travel the country. I have not really experienced meaningful racism from grassroots conservative audiences for the last several years that I've been, since I stepped down from my business career. That was a different world I was in. But for my book tours and everything else, and then now for this campaign, traveling the country. It's funny. That's the impression that you get from the media.
Yeah, wait. I think I agree with them, dude. I'm not saying they're not racist people. Of course they are. But even my experience, most people aren't racist. I haven't experienced that much racism in California. Like, yes, of course there are people that are racist. I'm not saying there are not. There are some people that are racist, but as not bad as the media makes it seem. If you just listen to media, you'll be like, every person's racist, or you're living through some kind of racist place where you look, it's all false. Let's just keep going.
People from Iowa, Ohio, Michigan, New Hampshire, I don't see that at all. In fact, I just see a hunger for substance, ideas, what's actually going to make the country better. I actually am very encouraged by that, and I think that more people should. I mean, I used to live here in New York as well, and I'm not saying this about you guys, but I remember for me, you get trapped in a bubble. When we get out of that bubble,
I'm going to South Carolina.
well, perfect. Well,
Yeah,
South
so I
Carolina.
know.
When did you grow up there?
My whole life. I didn't move to New York until 2006. So I understand exactly what you're
2006,
saying.
yeah, but I actually think a lot of what I'm saying is specific to. I think the country is in a different place today even than it was in the 90s and 2000s. I grew up in Southwest Ohio in the 1990s. Very different environment than it is today. But anyway, I mean it as a good note. I don't think that there's some sort of racist obstacle in the mind of.
All right, this is a 42-minute video, so I'm just gonna get to the part with the lady. But if you want to check out the whole video, leave a link for it. It seems pretty interesting so far. I mean, the conversation's going good. He's talking. So, but let me get to the part where.
That's what makes this country beautiful, and that's why that's what the radical left does. And race, gender, sexuality, climate.
right
I'm
here.
opposed to a lot of these ideologies.
For the United States Air Force in changing the
Let's go.
You value something, you have a stake in creating, in building, or knowing something about it. So how do we think big about this? Well, young people, as I told you, most of them, very few of them vote as it stands today. super small numbers, and apparently
Wait,
60%
I
of
think
them
it's
say
a
they
little
would
more
rather
back.
give up their
Taz, you good?
Yes, I do. So I've heard a lot of, what you think and your vision.
All right, this is the lady that everybody's been talking about and shitting on. So let's see. From what people have made it sound, it seems like she doesn't listen and her questions are stupid as hell. So let's see what's going on. She kind of does look bitchy. I'm not gonna lie. From her just face expressions and body language, she already looks like it's gonna be.
Vision, and I'm a very practical person, and I want to kind of oppose to talking about your opponents.
Practical,
Let's
okay.
talk about you for a moment, and let's actually talk about your policy. Explain to me your position on this civic duty voting.
Sure. So my position is, I think that every kid who graduates from high school should know the minimums about the country that we require an immigrant to know about the country in order to become a citizen. So there's a test. My mom had to pass it. Every immigrant has to pass it to this country. That asks you some basic questions. What are the 3 branches of government? What branch of government does the U.S. president lead? Some basic questions about what is the Bill of Rights. It's like a multiple choice exam, or some of them you write in. I think that if we're going to ask immigrants to pass that test, as we should, I think every 18-year-old who graduates from high school should have to pass that as well, because young people, it goes back to that issue of pride. You don't value a country that you don't know something about. You don't value something you inherit. You value something you have a stake in creating, in building, or knowing something about. So how do we think big about this? Well, young people, as I told you, most of them, very few of them vote as it stands today. Super small numbers, and apparently 60% of them say they would rather give up their right to vote than give up TikTok. Well, I say, all right, let's take that to the next level.
Wait. Did you guys hear what he said? So many people would give out. Young people would give the right to vote instead of TikTok. Like, Jesus, we're in trouble.
How about we do something that raises the voting age from 18 to 25? But you still get to vote at 18. If you just pass that same civics test that an immigrant has to pass in order to vote. And tests aren't for everybody, so be it. Then you at least serve in the military or a first responder role for 6 months. That's my civic duty voting proposal. And the reason is, I'll actually make a prediction. I think youth voting in this country will skyrocket. From a very low level right now, it will skyrocket because you value something you actually have to earn. And I think that this is not a left-wing or right-wing point. We all have duties as citizens, right? We aspire to free market capitalism, right? Materialist advance. And that's the life I've lived as well, by the way. My parents came to this country with not a lot of money. I've lived the American dream. I've made a lot of money by building businesses. That's one side of what it means to be an American. But part of it is we also have duties to this country. And I think the more we wake that up, actually the voting age only became 18 in 1971 in the context of the Vietnam draft. So I just think reviving those ideas is going to be good for us.
So let's start with your point. Nick, our camera guy, do you know the 3 branches of the federal government?
Over 24, so it don't matter.
But I'm just saying, but nobody...
Okay, first of all, Nick, the camera guy, should know that. Like, what the hell? Are you that dumb? Well, like, come on, dude. Like, what is wrong with these people? And I agree with them, dude. That's just basic shit. I had to pass the citizenship. My parents did. And you learn that shit in history. How can you not know that shit? And he's right. If you earn something, you value it more. And so, like, I agree with this point. If you're 18, you want to do a vote, just pass the exam. Test. It's a simple test. If you're willing to vote, I'm quite sure you know these things, and you'll pass it easy. So I agree with what he's saying. I don't know why this dude is reacting so bad. If you can't answer a simple question like that or pass the test, then you don't need to take the vote. Clearly, you do not have the mental capacity to know or decide who you're going to vote for anyway. So, Jesus, this guy is ridiculous.
Nobody knows there are 24. Red, do you know the 3 branches?
Executive.
Well, I got a test. I would like to see if you're willing to pass, because I believe
Ooh,
in
okay.
engagement. I believe in changing the ideas of what political opponents look like, what they should look like, or political candidates.
He's already changing that.
Are you willing to take a test with me quickly? Because I just have a couple of questions for you.
I will.
Absolutely. So
and the way this is open.
Wait, didn't he already change that? Like, most people are old, white. This guy's young, knows what he's talking about, and like seems like I think he already did change it. He's a person of color, Indian. I think he's already changing your perception. I guess that doesn't make.
Enough. I have a feeling I'm about to fail it, but that's good. Let's do it.
That's right. Yeah. just for clarity, I am an independent. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I think that's important for
Really?
the premise of the argument, because I know you did a lot of debating at Harvard. It's also, I also want to make it clear these are the same questions that I asked liberal Democrat Marianne Williamson. So I want to make sure that we put that out there as well, just to kind of set the foundation.
I'm
for the
open
text.
to being humbled. Let's do this.
Okay, great. Let's go. So you mentioned, you know, the pride of being an American and how important it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way,
Thank
for
you.
the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Wait, starting off, her body language and the way she's asking question is already going to be, it's not going to be fair. And I think she already has her mind made up, and she's not going to care what the hell he says. You can already tell that. So I don't know why she's even making it seem like it's going to be some fair debate or exchange where she's open to listen to him. It already seems like she doesn't give a shit. Her only goal is to put him down. I mean, right off the bat, it's so rude. Her body language, the way she's asking, come on. But this guy, he's doing good. Look at him, he's smiling, making jokes, up to the challenge. I like it. Nice. I like the confidence.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at
Okay,
all
sat
in
around.
civic engagement? Is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen, to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspective.
Tell her.
I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. So
Preach.
let's
Preach
go
on.
deeper into the self-reflection. So you sat
Self-reflection.
around for, and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly
Sat
can.
around.
Please don't take anything
And you
hard.
don't.
Time out. No, you're not. As soon as you made that statement, you know you're not going to be respectful. What the hell? You just sat around? The man just sat around? Okay, let's see.
You don't even
Wait,
have
I
to be.
just-
And you don't even
yeah.
have to be. So take it
Yeah,
off and let's
what-
go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years.
Okay.
Your parents came-
What the hell, dude? Okay, of course, black people had a lot to do with this country and building it up, but to just say that it's only her ancestors, that's ridiculous. Okay, that's just a freaking arrogant statement in my opinion. No disrespect, but that's stupid. They're Asian Americans like us from China, Japan. A lot of people, even white people, they helped. So to just make that statement is ridiculous. Jesus.
Came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two,
Wait, the way she says off of this country, she makes him seem like that he's not part of this country, that is not his country. The dude's born here, is an American citizen, and he earned it by hard work. Nobody just gave it to him. So that statement is just so disrespectful. Wow.
let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take
Oh, yeah.
any leadership role?
That's
Your
so
opponent
important.
did. Chris Christie, he was the class president. So
Yeah,
have you
yeah,
ever
I mean,
taken any leadership at all, or
Right on.
nothing, or just?
Can I just correct a couple factual things
Sure.
that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was
Okay,
born in this
scratch
country.
that
and
off.
I'm proud
No,
of that.
I know
Shit.
you were born here in Ohio.
yeah.
Oh,
How
did you?
mention my
I'm
parents
saying your
brought me
parents
over?
were immigrants.
You said-
My apologies.
Yeah, that's all right.
So
You
you're
said
even
your
stupider.
parents brought you over to this country. I
Yeah,
thought I
my
would set
apologies.
that record straight.
I mean, they were immigrants, but let's
They
not
were
go down the
immigrants.
water
Oh,
hole.
no, we're not going to water. I was going to correct a couple facts, and then the other thing is,
You were born here in Ohio.
I was
correct?
born in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right.
Right. So
Yeah.
you've been here your entire life. So the question
That's
is,
right.
did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did,
I
yeah.
know you played tennis. What is it? Explain it to us.
Student council, but I think that this is yes, I have held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
That's
it kind of
just-
does.
Okay,
well, it
well,
kind of does. Well, let me.
course it
Well, I'm
does.
giving the test. I'm the test
Okay,
administrator.
all right, there you go.
So it kind of.
Wait, I'm confused. So you have to be a class president when you're a kid, or be involved in politics when you're not mature enough to know anything, to be able to be a president? Or does that help you develop like public speaking skills, leadership skills, and management? That's why it's important. Wait, isn't he already like a multi-millionaire who freaking made companies? So he is a leader. He has the ability to get people together. Clearly, people follow him. So doesn't he already have those qualities? I'm confused, guys. I don't know. Comment down below and let me know. Sorry, I keep stopping to make. Let's go.
It does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
And I'll tell you, I've led companies as well. Is the other leader?
Right,
The
well,
main leadership
right,
role I've played is and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. You know, I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today, one of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration. Another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize for making contributions. But
right, well, I don't want you to filibuster that because that's not the question that I asked, and I don't consider as a veteran. I'm talking about service.
That's not service to mankind? Making medicine? Saving kids? Providing jobs? Dude, can you even think? Like, what is the mental capacity and thinking behind this person? Like, wow. Oh, God.
I'm not talking about what you did for profit. I'm not talking about what you paid people to do with your company.
So I've not served the country
because that means nothing to me.
You do
what I'm
realize
talking,
she
what
hasn't
I
been
am.
able to ask a question. She's been trying to ask a
it,
question,
yeah.
and you've been talking over.
I'm all ears.
We gave you the.
Wow. Are you serious? This dude, pow! Bitch slap right now. Dude, what the hell? She keeps interrupting. What the hell are you talking about? Wow. Dude, Vivek is too nice. I would have just got up right now. Wow. This is weak ass.
The platform to let you say
It's a
what
little
you said.
defensive.
I'm all ears.
She
No, I was just correcting a couple
hasn't had a chance
facts.
to
That's
ask a
all.
question yet. Every
Go
time
ahead,
she
Ted,
tries
ask
to
the
ask a
question.
question, you've been cutting her off. Go ahead,
I'm
Ted.
all ears.
So your question. So my question again is: you're trying to your goal is to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country, you want people to have civic engagement. And sir, I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all, and haven't been in all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service. Because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians. And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role, it's not good enough to just be on city student council where you're a leader. All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there to now? Have you been able to get anybody in a room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping over city council, county council, mayor, governor.
Sorry. Maybe that's the problem. She's emotionally worked up, so she's not thinking with her brain, knowing what she's asking and how stupid it makes her look and how one-sided, even though if she's really not. But the way she's acting and portraying herself, it makes her look so biased because her questions make no sense, even if she's right. That's not the way you ask. If you want to make a point and you know you're right, you ask calmly, nicely, lay out the facts. Then you can make even non-believers believe in you. But though, if you act like this, nobody's going to be believing you. Even if you're right, you're just going to be laughed at. That is so ridiculous. But let's just keep watching. I don't know what you guys think. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Thank you.
You want to go straight to the top. So my question is: this a PR? Is this for the PR, the perception of reality, or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do on any of these vision statements that you have? If not, then to me it's a moot point, because you're holding a standard that you haven't met yourself.
So if you're only going to count government service, you're absolutely
No, not government
right.
service.
Okay.
Student council in the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, where you a
Oh
leader.
my God. Wait, so the dude built an empire. Doesn't that show leadership skills? But no, that doesn't. That's were you a leader in your elementary high school? That shows leadership. That's the guy you want for your president. Not a guy who opened multi-millionaire company, successful from the ground up. Nah, he don't got no skills. Dude.
Did you do anything to rally anybody? Did you fight for better lunch? I did in the 6th grade with Miss Harris.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about
Oh,
government. I
dude.
can go all the way back from the 5th grade every year, sir. Because people who are in service to this country, if you're going to go around saying you want
She
people to
should be our
live in this country
president.
that I signed up to die for, then I want to make sure that you're holding that same standard. So not government, not political. Let's not get it confused. I'm saying, have you did anything of service that we can point to say he is a good leader, like Chris? And I'm not even a fan of Chris Christie, but he was the student council president in high school. So have you done anything of service besides yourself that has not benefited yourself? It's just a simple question.
So,
Bro.
the acts of service that I have performed.
Wait, what does that like? Did you serve for free? Didn't you get paid? First of all, I respect all veterans and thank you for their service, but I don't think that most of them gloat like this. Like, did you do it for free? You don't get any benefits? Like, come on. Of course you do. That's why you did it. Everybody does it for themselves. To say that is just dumbest. Let me meet a person who did it. Wow.
Are small, so small that I don't even want to talk about them to boast. But yes, have I volunteered for this country? Yes, I have. I've always been interested in
let's talk
healthcare.
about it. It's okay to talk about
Bethesda
the small
North.
things. I think
These
that
are small
matters.
things, right? But thank you.
Oh, well, let's just mention it.
Bethesda North
So it's
Hospital.
really a no?
No, it's not a no. It's just something I don't like boasting about. I
Well,
volunteered.
we're not boasting.
Yeah,
it's an
I'm
interview.
boasting.
You're
There we
boasting
go.
on your vision and everything else.
I think
you
one of the
boasted
things-
on the millions of dollars that you made. So let's just throw it out. So
I'm
in 6th
actually
grade, I'll
kidding.
give you an example. I'll help
Jealous.
you out. In 6th grade, Miss Harris,
tell you-
Miss Harris was Let me give you an example because maybe you're confused.
We don't want to hear
In 6th grade,
examples.
Miss Harris was snatching papers from everybody in the classroom. So me as a 10-year-old, I went to the principal and said, I'm tired of Miss Harris snatching papers. And I organized the students around getting Miss Harris to stop snatching papers. Now, there was a consequence for that. I got suspended for 5 days for talking back, and I got in trouble. I got a spanking, and I was on punishment for months and months. But that is a simple way of organizing people. So I want you to kind of boast about it the way you did the millions of dollars and said what you did with the pharmaceutical companies. What leadership can you point to that you've been able to rally anybody around anything that is of service that you did not pay anybody to do? I think that's important for the next president of the United States.
Sure. So I've always been drawn to healthcare. That's why I ended up founding companies in that space. When I was in high school, part of what drew me into it was that I was a volunteer at a local hospital. I actually became the leader of that group of volunteers that actually discharged women who had recently given birth. That was it. Nothing big to it.
Did you do anything we can point to stand out?
But I want to say something
Like
about
what?
that because I say that in the book.
Did you deliver the
If I'm
baby?
being really honest, why did I do that in high school? A part of the motivation, I'll be just brutally honest with you, was part of the motivation was that's actually what allows you to get into a good college when you
I know.
graduate. is
Right,
You want
so
to
it
check
was
the box
about-
of
so it
community
was
service.
about you.
So
So
there
it
was
was
an
about
element.
self.
So there's and I'm admitting that
Everything
in
is
a way
about
that very
self.
few other people do. But I got to be honest about it. That was a big part of why I did it.
Yeah,
Then when
it
I
was about
graduated-
self, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going
and-
to give it back to the
if-
guys.
if I
I'm
can-
going to be honest about it with you.
Yep.
Leadership is not about self.
I agree
And
with you on
what
that. I
what
agree
I
with you
just
on
heard,
that.
what I just heard is that everything is about you. And to be honest with you, this is just a PR campaign, sir. To be
Damn.
honest with you, and I think you're trying to go further to the right because
This
you want
woman needs some
Republicans
brain
to
help.
accept you as a
There
man
you go.
of color.
Give me some
And I
brain.
think the only way you think you can do that is to be so extreme
I appreciate your
with
opinion.
with your positions. And I think you need to do a little bit more work in service. I'll give it back to the guys. He failed the test, by the
because
way.
she did ask me a question.
Dude, this woman is so rude. Wow. And she's making so dumb, ridiculous points that make no sense. Snatching papers, lunch. Yes, you deserve to be president. Like, what the hell? Even though I might not agree with 100% with Vivek, but with her, the way she's sounding and making comments and arguments, you can't agree with her. She's just making herself look like a joke. While Vivek's handling himself politely, is talking right, giving the right answers, making his point clearly, not getting agitated or angry. He's handling himself so well. So even if you don't like him, you're going to support him. So I don't know what the hell she's trying to do, but that is just awful interview skills. What is she doing even on the radio show or whatever it is, the TV? That's just...
And then you guys said you wanted to hear a response, but I think I heard an expression of opinion. So just
Oh,
I want
hell
to make
yeah.
sure you're all done before I respond to it.
No,
You know
just
what I'm
wanted to say that even then, I would still want you to point out, even at the
Yeah.
hospital, something
You
that you
failed.
did that made you stand out on when actually taking a leadership role. But you already answered it. You said you did it because it was a motivation to get in college.
Exactly.
Which
And-
means
and
it was
I'm being
about
very
you.
honest about that. But
Everything has been about you. So as
Let
a
me-
veteran,
Let me
as
tell
a
you
veteran,
something. I
it's
appreciate
very
this.
hard for me to follow leaders that make everything about them. So you might want to work on that because it's a lot of veterans.
You might want to work on
So you
being
might want to work
much-
on that talking point, and maybe do some volunteering while you're on the campaign trail.
Jeez,
I'm gonna
dude.
give it back to Charlamagne and Envy.
This guy's got a lot of patience.
Once I want to be respectful. Want to make sure you got everything you wanted to on the table before I
But no, I got
responded.
plenty. If this was just us, it'd be a lot more.
Well,
on
you
the
guys
table.
tell me. I'm the guest on your show. You tell me when I'm good to speak.
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
You sure? You sure about that? If we're good.
Yeah, we sure.
So
We should.
I think there's a different worldview that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the worldview is how one actually makes contributions in a country.
Okay.
I do not believe that there's a separate category of just if you're serving the country and then if you're acting in self-interest, that's somehow sinful or wrong. I reject that vision. To the contrary,
it too.
I think capitalism is the best system known to man to lift people up from poverty.
Facts.
I deeply respect and I thank you for your service to this country. I'm grateful for it. I haven't served the country in the way that you have.
No wonder, dude's Harvard debate. Do you see how he makes his point so clearly and supports him? Not just with anger and dumb statements. He's actually backing up what he's saying. So even if you don't agree with him, it could make sense to you because he's telling you an example. This is how you debate.
But I think that the way you get ahead in capitalism, how did I develop a multi-billion-dollar biotech company? It was
lot
by
of people say
developing
capitalism
medicines that
causes
save
poverty.
people's lives.
A lot of
What's
people
that?
say capitalism causes poverty.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. I think that capitalism demands that you provide something to someone.
Look where he is because of capitalism. What the hell?
That helps them more than you're actually charging them for it. That's the only way.
That's
the
a
tried and
business
true way
model,
for you to
sir.
get-
That's
It
not
is a business
service.
model. It's not, I'm not
That's
saying
not
it's
service.
I'm saying it's
But
having an impact on
as
society.
an elected official is service. That's the disconnect
That's right. So
that you're
now,
missing that they didn't
I'm
teach you.
moving on to there are phases of our lives where we do different things.
Where
I've
you're
been-
moving.
Dude, aren't there most politicians are like super businessmen, rich? Look at Biden's son, Trump. Most of them are like successful in their own businesses or companies. What the hell are you talking about? What politician just serves mankind and never self-served? Who is that? I want to see this guy. Is she looking for Jesus? What the?
Straight all the way up to President of the United States.
You know, I don't view it as a
start first.
hierarchy. I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't believe in hierarchies. The hierarchy is the way the
that's the
bureaucracy works. I don't believe in so we have a
I
difference in
know.
opinion.
You also don't believe in service, and that's where we're having
Dude.
a
Well, I
disconnect.
disagree with you on that.
You know,
I just disagree with you on that.
I do think it's whack that you're proposing to revoke voting rights for 18 to 24 year olds unless they meet certain qualifications, but you never exercise your rights.
Well,
For so long.
most young people don't. Is the whole point.
Yeah.
So, Charlamagne, let me ask you a question. Do you think the most
the largest voter turnouts have been over the last couple of elections? Last
Le-
few elections.
They still voted at a very low rate. But let me ask you a question. What do you think about high school students being required to pass the civics test?
That's what they're saying. Called little knowledge is dangerous knowledge. Charlamagne has little knowledge, clearly. Do know what the hell he's talking about.
What's your perspective on that?
The one that you proposed?
The one that every immigrant has to pass in order to enter the country. If every high school student has to pass that before they graduate, what's your take on that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, good. Now let me tell you something about the law as it exists today. Men in this country, not women, but men are required by law to register with the Selective Service, age 18 to 25. That's
Facts.
the draft. We don't have a draft, but men have to register. If you don't, they put you in prison. At least they can. It's a criminal offense if you don't. My view is I would decriminalize that. I don't like the government telling you what you can and cannot do. That's not the American way. But if you want to enjoy the civic privilege of voting, then I think it is perfectly legitimate to say you have to at least know something about the country or have served that country, one or the other. Absolutely. Now, I think that what do we actually care about, right? What do we? I mean, we can do the personal attack
Voting
thing.
is the- vote-
I agree with that, dude. I think that's the issue. Because most people who vote don't even look at the issues. They just vote off like, oh, because we're Republicans forever, or we're Democrats, or oh yeah, this. I wish people would actually do the research, look into the candidate, his policies, then vote. Instead of just picking blindly because of one statement you liked, or because your family's always been Republican, or so on. Please do your research, make up your own mind, use knowledge, and vote. And I guarantee you, we'll have a freaking way better country than ever. I wish more people did do that. And what he's saying is that will kind of help it. If you pass the test, that means you know a little bit. you know what you're talking about. You're interested in it, so you might actually do the research and look into it because you're so eager to vote. So I agree with what he's saying somewhat.
We care
It's
about
not
the
personal
country.
attacks,
We
sir.
care about the
Voting is the
country.
cornerstone of democracy, though.
Voting is the cornerstone of
But you didn't
democracy. I have
Well,
not.
sir,
Yeah,
excuse
that's
me.
right. And you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing that's
Respectfully,
different is.
sir, excuse me,
Oh
because
my God.
this is important. We have to pause it. This is not a personal.
Wait, why didn't the other guy come in? She's interrupting him. Where is he?
attack.
That's okay.
This is you, and I know that as a Republican, you are certainly not soft. So this is not a personal attack.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
okay with
asking
attacks,
about.
too.
This is about asking about your background and how it correlates, how it's relevant to saying you're going to serve this country because president is actually.
So I have
serving
been an open book in the last
No,
3 years.
yeah, I know,
Absolutely.
and I'm going page by page.
And
but
I'm
it's not
saying
an
that I
attack.
have not-
I'm gonna
Page
let
by
you finish,
page.
But I want to be clear, it's not an attack.
Okay.
Because you've been an open book, but that doesn't mean I have to like
This
what's
will-
on the page.
That's fair
But it's
enough.
not
She's
an
at her own
attack.
show.
I'm just reading
So
the book.
entertaining.
Yep.
And so when I hear somebody say you need to get to either pass this test or do some type of service to the country, and I spend hours looking, you were in the Phi Beta Kappa. Did you have a leadership role in college, the honor roll? When somebody sets service as the standard and they've done no service except to themselves, that's a fair question. It's a question, and you just
So
answer
I've been on.
question.
I mean, look, I
It's
was
not
on
an
high school.
attack.
I was on.
So wait, so if he didn't do something, that means he doesn't have the right to improve it or make it better for other people? What kind of logic is that?
High school student council. Yes, absolutely.
Were you a lead? Were you a leader?
I was a vice president of my high school student
Okay,
council.
that's it. He's
Absolutely.
qualified
I was
now.
the president of
Okay,
the National
great.
Honor Society. I can go down the list. It's just that
That's
these are
what I
not-
was asking you to do. Go down the
Absolutely.
list. But
So
proceed.
I was a president of the National Honor Society. I was the vice president of my student council. I was a lead amongst the volunteers at the hospital where I served growing up. I was actually a leader in volunteer research over the summers. From my senior
But
year.
all of that, but you already admitted all of that was to get into college.
Oh, yeah, now she's going to negate it all.
But I am admitting it. I think that
I know
it's
that's
important.
self-service though. I just do
A
you
lot of
understand the
that-
difference
a
between
lot of-
self-service
and
service?
I think the reality is, and I think we just all have to be more honest. When
We do.
many high school students are serving today, not all of them, but I think let's smoke it out. I don't like that structure where we actually
No,
mix
and I don't like the
service with
structure.
self-interest.
And
So-
I don't like the structure of somebody saying somebody need to give service as a veteran. I don't like the structure of somebody
That's
going
fair,
to the
we can
highest
disagree.
office of the land and have not served anybody at any
Jesus,
time
woman.
unless it was self-serving. So this is where we just have two different ideologies. And I know your
And here's
goal
my
is to come here
perspective.
and get into.
Here's
Yeah,
my
I know.
perspective.
That's why
Let
we
me-
got
let me
different
sh-
If the
perspectives.
two guys, he got to leave in 5 minutes. I know.
I'll let them wrap
Yeah.
up.
Let me just say one thing: is you don't. Here's my vision of the run for presidency, and this is why I say I'm an open book. Is my job is to make sure people in this country know who I am and what I stand for.
Okay.
And I think that very few politicians on either party actually get that job done. So what I say is, I'm an open book about who I am and what I stand for. Whether the people of this country want to vote for me, that's their question, not mine. That's their job to determine, not mine. And you're free not to vote for me. I expect you won't, and that's okay. But I'm doing my job in this, in the 3 books I've written over the last year, in the conversation I'm having with you guys, being far more honest than any politician that I know in the last 10 years in this country. And I think when I say we want to fix corruption, you don't know what the first step is. The first step is actually people being honest. So you guys know me. You know what I stand for. I haven't hit back on that.
Do you
Whether
wanna
people in
unite
this
the
country
country?
want to vote for it, that's their choice.
Do you want to unite the country?
I do want to unite the country.
So why is like one of your marquee campaign proposals making sure black people can no longer benefit from affirmative action?
See, here's the thing. It's actually been a disastrous experiment over.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to get affirmative action. But yeah, so far, I'm not even a big supporter, not much, but I'm starting to like this guy more and more. He made good points with facts. He was calm, handled himself great. So, like, so far, I liked what he was saying. To me, that made sense. He came out the winner. This woman was ridiculous, arguing without facts. She was just throwing out perceptions, her own opinions, no counter to what he was saying, not proving anything. Lunch, high school, disc sports, leadership skills, but not opening your own company, saving lives that has nothing. Like, what kind of ridiculous points was she making? Maybe she was high, who knows? Like, that is just, bro. Yeah, but thank you for staying that long, and thank you for your support and love. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and let me know what to react on. And don't forget to smile. It's your boy, Sonny. I'm out. Catch you later.